This is an important message for anyone who finds themselves questioning vaccines. If you're wondering whether or not to vaccinate your child, let me tell you about a disease called Haemophilus influenza type B, or Hib. Hib is a bacteria which causes disease when it enters your respiratory system through your nose or mouth when you inhale. It's important to know that Hib disease usually occurs in a very specific population: children younger than 5 years old, and adults and children with certain medical conditions are at a higher risk for this disease. When a child is exposed to the Hib bacteria, there's a chance that it won't be harmful. This happens when the bacteria remains in the nose or throat. However, if it enters the lungs, you're in trouble. This is called invasive Hib disease and can make your child very sick, like this poor sick teddy bear. Hib disease is associated with the development of the following serious and potentially life-threatening conditions: meningitis, pneumonia, throat inflammation, which can make it hard to breathe, blood infections, and even death. Luckily, science has found a way to make sure your child is safe from the dangers of Hib disease. The answer to the problem is, of course, vaccines. Let's take a moment to reflect on a world with no Hib vaccine. This was a world when there was no stopping the menacing Hib bacteria from spreading from child to child. Here's what it looked like. Hib was the leading cause of meningitis in children younger than 5 years old. There were 20,000 cases annually in the US alone, and 3 to 6% of those cases resulted in death. Then the first vaccine was created. Vaccines are made to help prepare the cells of your immune system for battle against the things that can make you sick, called pathogens. Bacteria and viruses are both examples of pathogens. When your body sees a pathogen for the first time, special cells called B cells make antibodies to help fight that pathogen. Antibodies continue to patrol for that pathogen even after battle, and memory B cells remember that pathogen for next time, which makes for a much easier battle. Vaccines introduce different forms of the pathogen that won't make you sick into your system so your immune cells can prepare for an easy second battle if you're ever faced with that pathogen again. They then know exactly how to defeat the pathogen. Now let's look at the world today after the Hib vaccine has become widely used by the general population. The incidence of Hib disease has dropped more than 99% since before the first vaccine was created. The vaccine is what is responsible for this massive decline in the incidence of the disease. Here's what the Center for Disease Control recommends for your child: a first dose of the vaccine at 2 months old, a second dose at 4 months old, another dose at 6 months old, which is only required for certain Hib vaccine brands, and a booster shot at 12 to 15 months old. So why should you vaccinate your child? Well, that's easy. The truth is, most doctors do agree on this very important topic. The science behind it is really clear. Vaccines are necessary to protect everyone from disease. By vaccinating, really, you're protecting your own child, protecting those around you by not spreading the disease, and ultimately, saving lives.